Hello, guys. Okay, already have two people joining me. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. Let me know where you're joining me from as usual, just as we always do it. Actually, I'm too cold this evening, but I was like, I still have to come and then, do what I know how to do best. So let me know the temperature at where you are now because I'm so cold. Thank you guys for joining me. Remember to give this video a like and also remember to share this video with your friends as well. Very important. Just to support your sister. It's been a while I actually came online and I love it that I've been able to come online today. Judith Ayi, hello, watching you from Cork. Thank you so much, Judith. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Oh, that's so cool. How is Cork? What's the temperature in Cork? What's the temperature in Cork? I'm like, I don't know how those in Canada are actually doing it because they have minus 48, minus 46. I don't know how because it's just 8 degrees and 3 degrees. And they're already doing so well. I don't know how they're actually managing it because I can't even manage the 3 degrees and the -1 and the -2. Oh, Judith, thank you so much. Miss PK, I know the Batwana. Thank you so much for joining me. Blessing, hello Nesumo, hello Blessing. Roberta says hello, watching you from Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much, Roberta. I appreciate it. Judith says, how are you doing? I'm good. The weather is actually treating me very well. You should see me today. I've been in bed the whole day because I'm actually off. I've been in bed the whole day. It's so cold. Your girl in Stillaga, thank you so much, my girl. I appreciate it. And then Robina says, watching you in Ghana. Thank you, Robina. Hope to see you soon. Siam say hi, Lucy. Hi, Bernard. Thank you for joining me, Siam. Please let's remember to give this video a thumbs up and also share on various platforms. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're not in Ireland now. This video would also at least give you an idea about some of the things to expect when you have your family in Ireland. Okay, so we are going to talk about some important things if you're expecting to have your family in Ireland. Okay, at least some of the things that you need to do, and then when they are finally in Ireland, what are some of the things that you should also take notes? Okay, we are here to share experience. All my nurses joining me from Ireland, I really appreciate it. If you have anything at all that you really want to, share with us, please remember to. I'm actually going to drop the link. So if anybody at all wants to join me along the line and also share something that I've not really touched on, you are free to do so. Okay. Blessing says live from Dublin. Wow. How is Dublin? Is Dublin that cold? I'm in Drogheda now, so I don't know how cold it is in Dublin, but it's really cold here. Emanuela says, hi, Nesmo, we're watching you from Ghana. I messaged you on Telegram, but you did not reply me. Please, when was that? I'm so sorry. I have lots of messages. I don't know how I even do it. And truthfully, I'm on night shift now. So trying to, balance work and then all of this together, it's not easy at all. I'm actually doing my best. I'll try my best to answer you. I don't know whether it's today, because yesterday, actually, when I'm in my bed, I try to answer everyone because they are all so important to me. So forgive me, Manuela. Please don't get angry with me. I do my best, okay? And then, hi, says hi. Sorry, Oluru Nisomo. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi, where are you joining me from? Let me know. Okay, so time already, I think I've already spent 5 minutes. I'll try as much as possible not to take so much of your time. Maybe 30 minutes for us to just go through this. Okay, so if you're just joining me, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to hit the like, remember to share this video, and also drop a comment. It's very, very important. Okay, so I'm actually going to put my link here. If anyone at all has anything to share with my viewers, if you're in Ireland or you're even in any country at all, okay, and then you have anything to share with me or my viewers, you are free to do so. Okay, so I'm actually going to post the link to today's video. I just posted it, so you are going to see the link now. If you have anything, you want to join me online, you have anything to share, I'll give you the platform to also do that. Okay, so we are going to talk about a few things. Okay, imagine you have to for you to just prepare when you are preparing, when you are waiting to receive your family in Ireland. There are some few things that you just have to take note of. Okay, it's very, very important to have a few things here. Okay, so even before you actually receive your family in Ireland or in any other country, okay, I just have to be specific because I know I'm in Ireland. So please forgive me if I keep mentioning Ireland. It's just because I'm here, but I know that it's definitely going to apply to other countries as well. Okay, there's a few things that you need to prepare for. Let's just imagine that you've actually submitted your documents and then your family have already received their visa. What are some of the things that you actually need to work on? It is very, very important. Okay, I think that we all know that accommodation is an issue everywhere at all. Okay, so I just talk about a few things that you need to work on before they even arrive. And then after they have arrived in Ireland, we are just going to talk about some things that you also need to do because it's very important. And you not doing these things on time, can delay a lot of things. So I'm actually taking the opportunity to take us through it. So please remember to still share the video as well and also like this video. So before your family even arrives in Ireland, definitely you will be living in, let's say, a 1-bedroom apartment. Okay, so if you are in a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio apartment, depending on your family size. Okay, so if you are just married, you don't have any kids, your issue will be different. If you are, like, let's say if you have just one child, it depends. Okay, so in an instance where you are just waiting to receive just your spouse, definitely you can just get like a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio apartment. So that is actually going to take care of yourself and then your husband. That should be good. Your landlord wouldn't have any issue with that. Okay, so that is how it works. But if you have if you have 3 boys or 2 boys, different sex, it's also a different issue altogether. If you have the same sex, okay, it's also a different ball game altogether. Okay, so if you have the same sex, let's say you have 2 boys or 2 girls, then you can get a 2-bedroom apartment. That is how it works, even though you have 2. In an instance where you have a girl and a boy, then you will need a 3-bedroom apartment. That's how it works. So in Ireland, they are not allowed to share the same room. So if it's different sex, you need to get a single, room for all of them. So that's some of the advantages. We are not God, so that's what God actually gave you. If you have, let's say, 2 boys, 2 girls, the same thing. You just have to get everyone their separate rooms. Okay, that is how it works. And then, getting accommodation is very difficult. So I'll just say that those in Dublin, I know someone just joined me from Dublin. If you are in Dublin, I'll just advise that you actually look for a place outside Dublin, okay? Because Dublin is very expensive. So if Dublin is a city, those who just joined me, Dublin is a city of Ireland, okay? It's like the capital of Ireland. So if you are in Dublin and you're waiting to receive your family, please remember to get a place outside of Dublin. So it's important for you to check some of the places, some of the counties around Dublin that is not too far. Okay. Yeah. So I'll always tell people that you should check around, let's say, Drogheda, where I currently am. I was also in Dublin when I also moved to Drogheda because, I'm preparing to receive my family and all of that. So I had to get a place outside Dublin. We have County Meath, not too far, okay, and also the Midlands. You just have to look around those places. Okay, so it's very, very important. So I'm actually talking about some of the things that you have to take note or you have to prepare before your family arrives. Then after that, we will talk about when they are finally arrived. Okay, what are some of the things that you should also do? So the first thing I just spoke about is accommodation. Getting yourself accommodation is very, very important. And then I also talk about transport. Transport is a very essential thing that you really have to work on. Whilst you are preparing to receive your family, remember to, if you know how to drive back home, okay, when you're able to bring your driver's license, your international driver's license, you can only use it to drive for a year. Okay, so it's very important for you to work on getting your Irish driver's license. Very important, so that when your family arrives, you already have a car, at least to move them around. If it's just you and let's say your husband, or it's just you and then your wife, you guys can just survive with the bus system. But when you have kids, especially at the younger age, it's very, very difficult. So having them to walk around in the cold, especially at this time of the year, is so cold, and then having them to move around will be very difficult. Okay, so it's very important for you to get your Irish driving license. Very, very important. And then, if possible, try and talk to most of the garages just to work within your budget for a car, because it's very, very important. You need to get to know the place and all of that. Even if you're not able to get the full Irish license, at least you can even work on getting yourself the provisional license. Okay, so that at least whilst you are still preparing to get yourself. Sorry, I'm having some messages here which are a bit distracting, but I'll try to ignore them. So you try and get yourself the provisional driver's license. Okay, so at least when your family comes around, and let's say your husband also knows how to drive, he can also bring in the international driver's license just to assist you. Okay, because he will be able to even drive for a year. So that is also very, very good. So please remember to also get yourself the driver's license. So work towards it. It's very, very important. Okay. And then the next thing I also talk about is that if you are successful in moving to a different county or a place outside Dublin, okay, it's very important for you to survey the area. At least get to know some important places before your family arrives. Okay, at least where to locate a bank, where to locate some local shops like African shop if you're an African, or Asian shops, Filipino shops, any other shops at all around. That will make it easier for you when they come around, because you don't want to be holding your kids and then just you're now moving around trying to find a place. So you should know where you can find all those important places. Okay, so bank, maybe even the GNIB office, because it's very important. The GNIB office is actually the immigration office that's going to issue your husband with with their residency permits. Okay, sorry, with their residency permits. Please don't try to call me if you are here. You don't have to call me. Let's just join me here. If you have any comments, you can just drop it here. You don't have to call me at all, because I won't be able to answer. Okay, thank you guys so much. So as I was saying, just to survey the area, get to know where to find a bank, school, local shops, the GNIB office, even the bus system. Okay, get to know the bus system. Which bus am I supposed to pick to this side? When I'm going to the market, when I'm going to the bank, just survey the area, get used to the place. So if possible, try to move outside the city. I always tell people, it's advice I'm actually giving you. Try to, if you are by yourself and with your husband, you guys can be able to manage in the city. That is fine. But if you're in a city and then you have kids, I'll just advise you find a place outside the city, survey the area, know some important places before they arrive, because you don't want to have now when your family is in, you now be surviving to go to places and all of that. It's actually going to worry you a lot. Yes, so try to survey the area and all that. That is very, very important. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to talk about that, and then I'll also mention the school. If the academic term starts in September, every September. Okay, but if you are not successful in finding accommodation on time, and then the time passed, fine, you can still go to the school and then write the names of your kids. Try to register them before they arrive. Okay. In an instance where you are not able to register your kids before they arrive, that is still fine. We'll still talk about it. Okay. But if possible, you try to go to the school and then write their names. Usually, I know with the education system, it starts from 4 years. Okay. You're able to put your kids in the early starts. We call it early starts from 4 years. And then when they are, I think, 6, 7 years, they can now move to grade 1. And then it goes like that. So in Ireland, they're actually being placed in their classrooms based on their ages. Okay, it's not like where we come from in Africa. I know that sometimes you see someone 6 years, the person is already in class 2. You can even get 10 years that's already in class 1. That's how it works in Africa. I don't know about Asia and the rest, but in Ireland they use the ages, so you have to take note of that. If in case your child is less than 4 years, no worries. You can still try and then apply for the junior. The first one is actually the junior starts, and then the other one is the early starts. That is from 0 to 4 years. Okay, so they might actually going to consider you for the early starts if your child is able to take care of themselves. And if I talk about that, I mean they've been able to use a loo by themselves. Wash your hands, dress up, and all that. And that is actually just 2.5 hours. Okay, you're going to get that for just 2.5 hours. Peace says, nice. We'll come back later and watch. Thank you so much, Peace. JFW says, hello, good evening from my end. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. So also, I'm actually talking about the school now. So yeah, with the early start, it just from 3 to 4 years, they might actually consider you, and they have different times, which might be a bit inconvenient. Okay, they have different time, which might be a bit inconvenient. That is the most important reason why you actually have to get your own your own transport and also accommodation. So the transport is actually going to help you, to make things very easy for you. I know most of you are going to ask, how do I get to know the schools around and all of that? It's all part of the survey. The easiest way to do is actually sit in your house. It's very, very easy. And just go online and just type maybe schools around me, junior schools around me, or primary schools around me. You can look for all of that and then call, you are going to have a list of schools. Then you can now call them one after the other, and then you just try as much as possible to find a place for your child. If not, you can still walk to the place or drive to the place and then try as much as possible to have your children registered before you have your family in Ireland. If you are not able to do so, you can still do it after they arrive, but I'm just giving you the best way to do them, because if you're able to register your children before September, the possibility of they getting it in school is very high. Okay, so try and do that before they actually arrive. So I'll be done with that, and then now let's move to what happens after they are finally in Ireland, which is very, very important. You have the excitement, waiting to see your family. You are so excited, you are so happy. But what happens when they come in? That is where you have to face the reality. Okay, you have a lot of psychological issues, a whole lot of emotional issues, and all that, because you've been away from your family for a very long time, and then finally you're happy. You're going to be in a honeymoon, period for like 1 month, and then you are faced with reality, having to do the cooking, having to take care of the house again, and all of that. It can be a bit stressful, a bit stressful, and especially for the men. Your husband is used to doing things back home and then feeling so comfortable, and then they come into a new country. They now have to get used to the place. It can be a bit stressful. However, that's why we are here today, just to talk about all these things to make it a bit comfortable for us. Okay, so okay, thank you. I actually appreciate all the questions. I'll try and go through all of them after I'm done with my session, so I don't end up breaking it. Please, do they have hospitals at all counties? Yeah, we are going to talk about that. So I'm actually going to talk with the kids. When your family is finally in, what are you going to do for your kids? Okay, so with the children, the first thing is in an instance where you were not very successful with the school, okay, getting a placement for them in school, it's still not too late, because you can still do it. You can still go to the schools. Just that it's going to be a bit tough, because when you take them to the schools, the possibility of most of the schools asking you to come in September is very high. That's why it's very important for you to write their names before they arrive. And especially if they're arriving before September, that is the best. However, if their visa is being approved after September, that is still fine. You can still find yourself a place and then try to write their names in some of the schools around. Okay, so just make up your mind, which county would you want to move to when you are preparing to receive your family. If you have a specific county in mind, just try to go around that school, around the place, and just try and get accommodation first, because if you don't have accommodation, it will be very difficult for you to get a school, because you need the address, the proof of address, and all of that. And then in Ireland, most of the schools, it's been done in sections. Like I don't know how to say it, but if you are in one particular place, you cannot get accommodation school as a different area. So they have schools serving each and every area. So it's very important for you to get accommodation first before you can actually find yourself in school. Very, very important. Yeah. So if they are in Ireland, you were not successful before they came, that is still fine. The first thing I will always advise people is that you should be able to go to the school and then find them a school. Very important. So when you are going to the school, that's one of the things that you have to take along. You can take their birth certificates, okay, and also their passports. It's important. You can go there and then search online. Just go there and then present those. They are going to ask you some few questions, give you a few forms for you to just fill out. Okay, so you fill those forms out. They'll tell you they're going to call you back. If you're lucky and then they have any space, they'll just tell you to just bring them in, maybe the next Monday, just for them to prepare as well. If your child is less than 4 years, you can also get an early start school, which is at 2.5 hours. So that is also at least going to help you, for you to just be alone with your husband at home, just for you to at least settle in a bit. Or at least when you even take them to school, you can also start working on some things, whilst they are in school. So it's very, very important. So you just have to take their birth certificate and also their passport to the school, and then fill out some few forms, which is very, very important. Okay. And then when you are done, that is all for the school. Actually, nothing much. They're not going to get. They're not actually going to ask for a lot of documents from you. It's just basically their birth certificates, their passports. If there's any other thing that I haven't mentioned, it will be definitely something within your reach that you can easily get. Okay, it's going to be something that you can easily get. But they are going to give you a form that you have to now fill out. That is all. And then the next thing I'm actually going to talk about is their PPS. So that's their public service card number. Okay, so in Ireland, I know that you guys know that you all have PPS, yes, but your kids will also need a PPS, which is going to be useful because you will need that for you to be able to get child benefits. Okay, so we all know that in Ireland, child benefits is 140 euro. Okay, so if you have 5 kids, each child gets 140 euro. If you just have one child, each child gets 140 euro. If you have twins, I know it's double. So if you have triplets, it's also different as well. So you need your PPS. So what happens for the PPS? You just have to look for the intro offices around. Okay, so the intro is INCE, I think INCER or something. Sorry, guys. So you have to look for that around, and then you can just search the PPS office around me. It's very simple. PPS office around me. So you can go to the PPS office, and then when you go, it's very important. A lot of people actually do this mistake because they are not really aware of it. The main reason why we are actually asking for the PPS, or you're actually going, okay, it's just because of the child benefit. With the PPS, you can have GP requesting for PPS, and then you also need the PPS for their school. Okay, so you can request for PPS for 3 reasons: either for the GP, or for the school, or for child benefits. So the easiest way to do it, okay, is for you to, when you go to the PPS office, just let them know that you need PPS for child benefits, so that it makes it very easy for you. When you go to the office and you tell them that you need a PPS for child benefits, they're going to give you a child benefits form, including the PPS form, for you to fill it out together. So then you get your PPS and then you apply for your child benefits at once. It makes it very, very easy. But if you should go and just tell them that you need a PPS for the school, then they are just going to give you a form just to fill out for the PPS to come out, usually after a week, for you to get the PPS for the school. And then you have to go back to now apply for the child benefits. So that's the difference. So to avoid the back and forth to the office, it's just great for you to just go and then just tell them you need a PPS number for child benefits. Just tell them straight ahead, and then you can just fill in your child benefit form and also your PPS form, and then everything comes at once. Okay, so that when you get a PPS number, you can still give it to the GP or to the school as well. Okay, and that is when you actually go to the school and they are requesting for PPS number. If you are not done with that, you can just write that you are awaiting PPS. So you let them know that you are now awaiting the PPS number. Okay, so if you just join me, the PPS number is just like a public service number. Okay, for kids, we have for employers, and also we have that for kids. So with the children, it actually helps in getting your child benefits. Okay, it's very important. So that's what happens with the PPS. And with the PPS, you will have to go with their passports, and also I know it depends. I'm not going to say that you will need this particular document in every office. No, it differs. Okay, it actually differs. But most important, they're actually going to ask you for their passports because they want to be sure that the kids are in the country. And please, if you're a man, you don't have to go there because they actually say that the PPS is actually for the women. Okay, so if you are in Ireland and you are the nurse, make sure that you go with your wife. It makes it very easy for you. Okay, that is how it works. So if you don't want to go, you can just ask your wife to go with the kids. If you have the kid with you, it's even much simple. But they will still need the passport just to be sure that your kids are in Ireland, because some people do apply for child benefits whilst their kids are not in Ireland. So they take the passports, they check if they have the stamp that shows that when they arrived in Ireland, the immigration actually stamped it before they will give you, they'll move forward with everything. Okay, I don't know with other counties, but that's what I know. Okay, if you find anything different, don't worry. It's every office and or every county and the way they actually run their office. Okay, so but basically those are the things that they are going to ask for. So that is it with the PPS. You just have to tell them that you're applying for PPS because of the child benefits. Fill in both forms. Then you get done with your PPS. You get done with your your PPS and also your child benefits. Okay. Yes. So now let's talk about GP. Let's talk about GP. I have a few lists here, just trying to go by the list. Let's talk about GP. So in Ireland, you can't just get up and just go to the hospital like that. Indeed, you can go to the A&E, fine, but at least you need the GP for each and every family member. If you are in Ireland and then you don't have a GP, okay, that's fine. But if you are preparing to receive your family, it's very important for you to try as much as possible to get a GP for your family, okay? And then you cannot do that if you don't have accommodation. So everything actually, falls on accommodation because you actually need proof of address in most of these offices. Even going for PPS, you still need a proof of address. The same with the school. So when you're able to get accommodation, it solves a lot of a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, a lot of things for you, just to make it very smooth, okay, for you in preparing to receive your family or when you're already in Ireland. So with a GP, you just have to click, go to online and just type GP near me. It makes it so easy. You have a whole list of GP offices or hospitals near you that you can just apply for, to be part of their team. Okay, so that is how it works. You just have to apply, just call them, tell them that, you have your family in Ireland, you want to find out if they are taking new applicants for GP. So you just let them know the number of members in the family. If they have any slots, they'll tell you to come to their office and then fill out a few forms, and then they're actually going to allocate you to a GP. If they don't have a slot, they are still going to tell you that they'll keep you on a waiting list. So they'll keep you on a waiting list, and then if they have any slots, they'll call you and let you know that you can now come to their office. They'll tell you the GP's name and all of that. You fill out the forms, and then with the forms, you also need your proof of address. You need their PPS number. If by then you still don't have the PPS number, that is fine. Okay, that is fine. You can just put it there that awaiting PPS number, and then when the PPS number is in, you can let them know just to update their records. So it's that simple. It's that simple. And mostly that when you're actually looking for GP near me, it's just the hospitals near you. That's how the system works. You are just going to get hospitals very close to you. You get those very close, and then those a bit far from you, but not too far, because that is how the system actually runs. Sorry, guys, I have a call now. That is how the system runs in Ireland. Yes. So that is it with the GP in Ireland. And then the next thing I'm actually going to talk about is GP visit card. The GP visit card is actually from the government, and it actually serves from 0 years, okay, a newborn baby to 8 years. Last year it was up to 7 years, but this year it's been upgraded to 8 years. So they can have free GP services. So it's just like consultation and then some few medical labs. So with the labs, it's not everything, doesn't cover everything, but I'm not too sure about the ones that it covers. But after you go to the hospital and then something does not cover it, they're actually going to send you the bill to your house, okay? But at least when you have any child 8 years and below, they are being covered by the GP visit card. And then with the GP visit card, let's talk about how you can actually apply it, okay? Because a lot of people do not really know. When you go to the hospital where you are able to book for a GP, you can actually ask them about the GP visit card. If you are not able to do that, it's very easy. You can just go online and then just type a GP visit card. You are going to get the link. When you get a link, and you can just apply for a GP visit card for your children. They're just going to ask you for some basic things: their name, their age, the proof of address, where they actually live, yourself, the name of the mother, the father. The PPS number is also going to be asked. So the PPS number actually runs a lot of things in Ireland. In an instance where you fill out the form online and then you are not able to fill it out properly, okay, the office is actually going to get back to you and then ask for additional documents like birth certificates and also the PPS letter. So the PPS comes in the form of a letter just to tell you the number of the PPS. So they just ask for that letter and also their birth certificates. Okay. Then after that, you are going to hear from them that within 10 days they are going to post your GP visit card to you. That is all. It works like that. So it's very simple. So if you are here and you're in Ireland, you have 8 years or below in Ireland, you can just apply for them. Just go online and just apply for the GP visit card. It's very, very important. At least it saves you some euros. Very important. Now consultation is like 50 euros. Some people are actually taking 60 euros. So if you're able to get that, it's actually very, very simple and very beneficial. And then with a GP appointment, you have to call them and then book an appointment before you go. It's not walk-in service. Most of the hospitals around are not walk-in service. You have to book for an appointment. If there is something like an emergency, you just have to go to the A&E just to get yourself sorted out. Okay, so that is how it works. So far we've actually covered child benefits. We've spoken about PPS, getting a GP, and also GP visit card. Okay, now let's talk about, I'll just add a few things when it comes to the school. Okay, with the school, if you are successful in getting them a school, education is free in Ireland up to, I think, the secondary level. So when you get, let's say, with the primary schools, you're not going to pay anything. School fees is free, but you may be asked to pay something, something later, like 30 euro or 50 euro, just to support with the books. Okay, and then with the uniform, they usually will have like a store of old uniforms. If you want it, you can even request to have those uniforms. They are very flexible. And then if you really want new uniform, they're actually going to tell you where you can actually get the uniform just for your kids. Okay, and the uniforms are very, very cool. Like it suits the weather. You have the jumper and all of that just to suit the weather. Okay, so that is how it works for the kids. And then I'll just look at a few questions and then I'll move on to the spouse, some of the things that you should know when it comes to your spouse. Okay, Mohammed, sorry, let me just go up. Robina says, please, do they have hospitals at all the counties or only some? Because we have been hearing, sorry, I can't get your question, only, or because we have been hearing of Dublin. Okay, I don't know where you're trying to, but every county has hospitals. Every county, at least you're going to get those small clinics around that you're going to book for your GP. Okay, so please don't worry, Robina, you're definitely going to get it. Every county at all, you will definitely get one. Awal says, thanks for always throwing light on this. Is very important milestones. It's a must for the kids to be in school, especially. Is it a must for the kids to be in school, especially those less than 4 years? No, it's not a must. It is not a must. Actually, the early, the junior starts is actually from 4 years, okay? But in an instance where you just want to be, you have to do a few things around when you just need the kids out of the house, because imagine you have you are with your spouse, and then maybe you have to take your spouse to the office. You have to get some few things ready, some registration and all that. You need at least your kids to be in school for you to be able to do all those errands. So if possible, just get them registered in an early start. So the early start, just look for the government schools that you can have a free early start. Because if you want a private Montessori, that is really, it's very, very expensive. That's going to be expensive. So just get it. It's called the early start. We call it, I think, is it crèche? Yeah, just like the crèche, but they call it early start in Ireland. So you can get them registered at least to take your child away from you for 2.5 hours for you to get yourself sorted out and doing some few errands, so you can now come back to pick them up. Okay. Yeah, and then with the school, with the early start, it's sometimes it sometimes can be a bit unpleasant in the sense that with their timing. So we have some people going in the morning, some going in the afternoon, and all of that. You might not get the exact slot that you actually want, okay? But at least no matter what, you can still work around it. Is that flexible? And Roberta says, does it mean entrance into a school isn't based on any exams? No, it isn't based on any exams. So far as I'm concerned, it's not based on any exams. You take your school, you apply for them. You can actually even apply online. Okay, so most of the schools, you can even apply online and then they can still call you. Okay, but if you don't want to apply online, you can also go there and then give them all the necessary documents that they may actually request for, and then you just have your kids registered into or enrolled into the school. Okay, yeah, please, if you have any question, you can just drop it. I'm now going to move to that of a spouse, some important things that you need to know for the spouse before we move on to some other few topics as well. So let's say you have your husband or your wife come in, what are some of the things that you need to do? Okay, so first and foremost, you will need to register them for their GNIB card. So for nurses, we actually have the stamp 1. for the first 2 years. Then after the second year, you can now apply for your stamp 4. That is cool. So when your husband comes, you have to register your husband, and they're actually going to get a stamp 1G. 1G actually gives them the privilege to actually work in Ireland, and they don't need a work permit. So you need a work permit to work in Ireland, which your employer is actually going to provide for you in most cases. But you wouldn't need a work permit. Okay, that is how it works. So the stamp 1G, your work permit actually covers your spouse. That is how it works. So that they just have to call and then book for a GNIB appointment. So some counties, you have to send an email to the immigration office requesting for the appointment for them to get the card. But some other counties, like the city, I know you can just call to just book for an appointment. So it depends on your location. Okay, in Dublin is different. If you're in the counties, it's also different. Okay, yeah. So that is how it works. And then with the GNIB card, that is a stamp 1G. It is a 300 euros. Just like how much that's the same as how much you also pay. You can also get to pay when you're also in Ireland as a nurse. So it's 300 euros. You are going to pay for the same thing. And then when you are able to book for the GNIB appointment, they'll be asked to bring a few documents. Okay. Most importantly, they will need insurance. So life insurance. So you need to book, apply for insurance for them. Okay, so you can actually do the insurance before they go for the GNIB, or you can actually get a GNIB appointment and then pay for an insurance. So they have lots of insurance companies in Ireland, lots of them. You have VHI, HSE, a lot of them. So you can just Google online and then just search for any of the insurance companies. And then when you call them, let them know that your husband or your wife just arrived in Ireland, and then you need to they're actually going to attend appointments for residency permits. Okay, the GNIB card is actually the same as residency permits. Okay, so when you tell them, you just have to explain to them so that they get you the right insurance cover. It actually ranges from, so far from what I've heard, it ranges from 30 to I think 45 euros per month. So you can choose to do for the whole family, or you can just choose to do it for just your spouse. Okay, so you get the insurance, and then make sure that you get the certificates for the insurance, because if you don't have it on the day of appointment, they'll be asked to go back because they need it before they can now apply for the residency permit. So it gives them that's a permit for them to actually reside in Ireland. So when you also come from your home country, you also need a residency permit. Okay, so your spouse will also need this permit to also reside in Ireland, and it's the same amount. It's 300 euros. It's 300 euros, and most importantly, you will need an insurance, just as I said. So they will have to go with their insurance certificate. They'll go with their passports. They'll go with their proof of address. Those basic things. And then when they attend the appointment, they will just be given a time frame for their card to be posted to them. Okay, yeah. And then the next thing is that your spouse will also need a PPS number, because getting a PPS number is very essential for your spouse to get a job in Ireland. It's very essential for them to get a job in Ireland, because without a PPS number, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult. So to get a PPS number, when you go online to book for a PPS number, there are a few options. Are you getting a PPS number for a GP? Are you getting a PPS number for employment and all of that? It's a bit difficult. So I'm actually going to leave a form under this video when I'm done at the description. It's called the Spouse Accessible Form. So the Spouse Accessible Form is actually a form that helps you to be able to share your tax, okay? Because you are entitled to a specific amount of tax credit, and also, tax band when you are married. So you are going to use that form, you are going to fill out that form, and also state who is going to be the accessible spouse. So the one who is actually going to get the benefits, okay? Yeah, so you are going to fill out that form, and then use that form as a reason why your spouse actually needs a PPS number, okay? So when you fill out that form, the reason on my Gov ID is that you're going to write that your spouse actually wants that PPS because of revenue purpose. So that the purpose is actually going to be for revenue purpose, and then not for employment. In an instance where they get employment, that is good news. Okay, you can still state employment. But in an instance where they don't have employment or anything, they are going to request for a PPS number for revenue purpose. Okay, because when you're in Ireland alone, you are being taxed as a single as a single person. But when you have your spouse join you, and you are now married, so then they are going to tax you as a married person. So you need that PPS number of your spouse just to help your tax, reduce. And then your tax credit is also going to increase. So the tax credit, when someone says tax credit, it's actually an amount that your employee gives you, the government gives you to reduce your tax. So the tax credit actually helps you to reduce your tax. So if you are a single person, you get like just this 2024, if you are single, your tax credit is just 1,800 and I think 25 or something. Don't quote me on it. But if you are married, your tax credit is actually going to increase to 3,700 and I think 75 or something. So it's very important that you change your status to a married person so that you get that benefit. So you see that you're going to see a very huge difference in your salary, about 300-400 euros additional to your salary. Okay, so that is how it works. So I'm actually going to leave the form. I was trying to upload the form here, but it's not, just to give you guys. Let me see. Just to let me see if I'm able to show you. If I'm not, I'll just leave it. Let me try to share my screen. So give me a second. I'm trying to share my screen. If it doesn't work, okay, give me a second. Trying to make it a bit easy for us, guys. So let me see if I'm able to share my screen. That'll be easy for us. Okay, so it's not working. So I'll try as much as possible to drop the form. Okay, I'll try as much as possible to drop the form on at the description level just to help us out. Okay, just to help us out. So you are going to tell them that you are actually applying for a PPS number for revenue purpose, just to help your family. Okay, just to help you out. So it's very, very important. Apart from that, if they don't have the PPS number, they are not able to get a job in Ireland because it's very, very important. But that is the easiest way to actually apply for a PPS. You can also actually give the reason for a GP. You can also use GP as a reason for getting a PPS number for your spouse. However, using the revenue purpose makes it more easier for you to actually get the PPS number. Yeah. Okay. And then the next thing that you're asking your spouse, I think I'm actually mentioning husband because I know that I'm a woman. So the next thing that let me just talk about some few documents that they're actually going to need for the PPS number. Okay, so the few documents that they're actually going to need is the biometric page of their passport. So they'll need to create an account. If you don't really know how to apply for a PPS number, you can check my videos. I have a video on how to apply for a PPS number. At least it's going to guide you. You just have to create an account on my welfare and then my gov.ie. You go to my welfare and then you are now going to apply for a PPS number. Okay, that is how it works. So to apply for the PPS number, your spouse will need the biometric page of their passport. Okay, just to upload that. And they will also need the spouse accessible forms, which I said I'm actually going to leave the link to that form under this video. And then they're also going to need, the stamp in their passport. When they arrive in Ireland, the immigration office is actually going to stamp their passports. Okay, so they will need that stamp, just because that stamp actually states how long they are allowed to stay in the country before they get their residency permits. They'll need that page of the stamp. Okay, so you have to scan that as well, and also your marriage certificate, just to prove that you guys are married. Okay, and then proof of address. So in an instance where the accommodation that you actually got, you couldn't put your husband's name on it, that is fine. You can also have your husband actually print out a bank statement. Okay, just print out a bank statement, which is very, very, very easy. And then usually the bank statement is actually very always available the next day, the next working day. So you can just take that and then upload that and just submit the documents. And then at least 2 weeks, you should be able to hear from them. If they want any additional documents, they're going to let you know. If that is okay, they are going to send you the PPS letter via your email, okay, or via post, and that is it. Okay, so that is all. And then your husband or your wife also has to just register for GP. So GP actually covers the whole family. So that is it for your spouse as well. And then I'll talk something more. I'll just try and touch on jobs. Okay, I'll just try and touch on jobs. When it comes to jobs, it's a bit difficult because when you have your spouse in, you are looking at what they can actually do. You are always caught in a dilemma. Should I have them join the health team, or should I have my husband actually or my wife actually pursue their dream? I think when it comes to the next, we are always trying to look at the easier, the easier aspect. So we just tell our spouse to just go and then do a course in healthcare, just to get them healthcare assistant jobs, or let's say the support worker role. I understand that it's very easy. However, it doesn't mean that when they get in, they cannot get any job. They can actually get any job at all that they actually want. Okay, because some people are being sued because they are now getting themselves into these healthcare assistance jobs, but they don't have any passion for it. Okay, so it's very easy when you allow your spouse to register on LinkedIn and then create their profile, state their qualification. All of those things are very important. You have a lot of employers actually reaching out to them. Also, Indeed is very good. Create an account, have your spouse just create an account on Indeed, put out their CV, their qualification, because it's a very big platform. They are even able to upload their certificates, their CV, and then making application for jobs becomes very easy for your spouse. Okay, so those platforms are very good. When you go to www.mywelfare.ie, I think the first option is for jobs or education. When you click that I think is Irish jobs or Ireland jobs in Ireland. I'm not too sure, but I think jobs irelandjobs.ie. You just click on that, it takes you to a different web page where you are able to apply for jobs for your spouse, or your spouse can even apply for themselves. So it's that simple. It might take some time. Just give yourself some time. It might take some time for your spouse to find what they actually want, but they can keep applying whilst they look at other options as well. In an instance where your spouse does not mind working in the healthcare system, that is fine. When they get their PPS number, they can now apply to also complete the QQI. The QQI just they need the certificates, the training that they need to be able to apply for a healthcare assistant jobs, which makes it very easy for them. However, it's not when it comes to a support worker, they might not need the QQI. Okay, when it comes to a support worker, they might not need the QQI. With a support worker, most of the employers will be asking for full Irish driver's license. Okay, so when it comes to driver's license, it's very, very important that when your spouse joins you, if possible, if your spouse joins you, if possible, whilst you are waiting to register for the school, for the GP, waiting for PPS, if possible, have your spouse start with the driver's license process. Writing the exam for provisional license and then going ahead to start with their driving. If that is, it will be a plus for you if your spouse can drive already. It's actually a plus. However, you can still teach your spouse if you don't know, because most of the jobs, the criteria is that they actually request for driver's license. So it's always good to have your spouse get their driver's license when they come. It should be a priority, because it's actually going to matter when you're actually looking for a job. But most of the jobs will be asking for driver's license, okay, in Ireland. So have them do that, which is very, very important. Then they can, when they are even applying for jobs, and then they state that they have a full Irish license, it's very good, okay. However, just give yourself like 6 months, sometimes even up to a year, to just settle in, to have your family also settle in Ireland, okay. Don't rush too much, don't push it too much. So try as much as possible to spend within your means or get accommodation that you can actually afford, just to give your spouse some time to also recover. It's very, very, very important, okay. Yes, so that is it for the jobs for our spouse. So if your spouse is an accountant, and if your spouse is an accountant, actually ask them to write the I think that, how do you call that, the ACCA or something, ACCA. Have them to write it if possible. If they already have that, it's easier for them to get a job. Okay, if your husband actually interested in driving, it's easy to get a job. Management, they have a lot of roles. Okay, so based on the county that you are actually living, when you go to Indeed, you can search for jobs that are around that site, and then ask them to actually send you notification on any new job that's actually posted. That is very, very important, and it makes it very, very easy. You can even search for jobs that's actually like working from home. In an instance that you have like young children, you want a job that you can actually get working from home. That is also perfect. Okay, that is also very much perfect. So you have all those options for you to get a job and then have your spouse also help you out. We also have the transport system. The bus system is also very good. We have the Dublin bus or any of the buses around. They are very, very good. And they pay their salary is very good. So have them, the driving license is very, very important, or the taxi and all of that. All of those things are options for your spouse, especially if you're a wife, and then your husband can look at those options. Driving in Ireland and all of it's very, very good, very, very good. But I'll always recommend LinkedIn and then Indeed for your husband or your wife to look for a job. If they don't mind being carers, they can also complete a QQI, and then they can now apply for healthcare assistant jobs. If they are not really very much interested, they can also apply for support worker. So the support worker roles are like just helping residents with some basic things, maybe going for shopping, driving them for shopping, going to the bank, going for walks. So those ones are very much flexible for spouses that do not really like the healthcare stuff, like changing of diapers and all of those things. If they don't want something like that, you can have them go for the support worker role. That is very much flexible for spouse. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a video separately for this about some of the jobs that you can actually apply for. Yes, so that is it for your husband. And then after your husband receives after your spouse receives his or her PPS number, it's very important that you, as a nurse, you living in Ireland, remember to go to your revenue account. Okay, if you are back home and you're not you're a bit confused about what I'm saying, when you're in Ireland, when you need your PPS number, you have to create a revenue account. Okay, so that's about taxation and all of that. Remember to go to your revenue account and then change your status to a married person. Okay, so you have to go to my details in my account, change your status to married person. Then you also have to attach some proof. Okay, so you also have to create an account, my revenue account for your spouse, and then your spouse will also change it to married, and then your husband will actually kind of link his to yours. So they're actually going to ask you who are you married to, the person's PPS number. You put all of that in, and then you will now accept the invitation to be married to that particular person. Okay, so you give revenue some time for them to change your status to be a married person, because they're changing that is going to change a lot of things. I know that if you're already a nurse in Ireland, you know what is called the tax credit certificate. So that actually shows the amount of tax that has been allocated to you. That's the amount of tax you pay, the amount of tax credits that's also allocated to you. So it helps to increase and also reduce your tax. So both you and your spouse are being given a tax. I think you have been given a tax relief, a total of 80,000 euros. But the person who earns more is being given 51,000. So anything above 51,000 is being taxed at 40%. So me sitting here, if I have my husband in Ireland, and then my husband right now, my tax, I'm going to be charged 40% on anything above 51,000 euros. That is how it works. Then the next, the other person or your spouse is going to have 33,000 euros being charged up to 20%. So anything above that, they are also being charged 40%. So that's going to be a different video, just not to get you guys confused. But very important, you have to update your marital status on your revenue accounts so that your tax reduces as well, and then your tax credits also increases. So the tax credit is actually going to reduce your tax. Very, very important. Okay, yeah. So that is it. I think I've set up almost everything. I'll just touch. I have some few minutes. I think about 7 minutes, but I'll try and wrap up and then take some few questions. And then if anybody is here who wants to also join me just to say something through experience, you are very much welcome. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the benefits. There are a lot of benefits that you can actually apply for. The first being the child benefit, which I know I have already spoken about. And then in an instance, because of the stamp that your spouse is actually going to be on, you are not entitled to lots of benefits, because when you are inviting your spouse, you do state that you are assuring the government that your spouse or your family is not going to be a burden to the country. Okay, so however, there are a lot of things that they can actually apply for. You can even apply for. Okay, so they have the child benefits, and then you can also apply. I think we have something called the working family payment. Okay, so the working family payment, you can go to my welfare ie, and then apply. Just look at just look at that particular payment. It actually pays you for the number of hours that you are working, you and your spouse are actually working. Okay, so there's a specific amount that you are supposed to earn each month per your family size. So if you have a bigger family size and you're not able to earn that amount of money, you can actually apply for it. So there are a lot of benefits on my welfare. You can apply. You can just apply. If you do not qualify, they'll let you know that you don't qualify for that specific benefit. But at least it will still help you to run the family. There are lots of benefits on my welfare website that you can actually apply for. So that is it, guys. I'll just check some of the comments, and then if I have anyone who wants to join me, I'll post the link here once again so that you can join me, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so I have Anthony says, let me go to the top. Okay, so I have Lillian says, how are the children placed in classes in schools? That is, which age is placed in what class? Okay, so 4 years is 4 years is junior infants. Okay, so that is what I think that we call it kindergarten in Africa. I think kindergarten, yeah. So that's they are being placed there, and then I think up to 6 years, and then from 7 years they are being placed in grade 1. So 2 years, grade 2, 8 years, grade 2, and then 9 years, grade 3. It goes like that. Okay. Yeah. And then so far, I haven't heard of any entrance exams. No, I haven't heard of any entrance exams at all. Give me a second. I'm still trying to open this document. Yeah. So far, I haven't heard of any entrance exams, guys. Yeah. And then the next person says Anthony says, please, can I start working before my stamp 1G? Okay, Anthony, with the stamp 1G, usually going to be a requirement. Okay, you cannot just start working before your stamp 1G. It's not done. Okay, I think Tunji, you're trying to join me. Can you connect your mic before I can add you? It seems you haven't connected your mic. I can have someone trying to join me here. So Tunji, please remember to connect your microphone before you can join me here. So if you want to go out and then you try coming in, switch on your microphone, then I'll add you to the live session. Okay, yeah. So with the stamp 1G, please, you will need it. You need it. If you are in Dublin, it's easier for you to get your stamp 1G. It's so easy for you to get your stamp 1G. But in the county, sometimes you have to wait for an appointment, let's say in 3 weeks or in 2 weeks before you are able to go for your residency card appointment. That's your GNIB appointment for you to get your card. But it doesn't take long. At most by 2 weeks or 10 working days, you should get your card. Okay. And then Justina says, please, what work can a husband who is a healthcare assistant in Ghana be able to do? That is so easy. If your husband is a healthcare assistant girl, that is easy. They can actually be, they can also, upgrade. Even the okay, sorry, that is physician assistant. So sorry, physician assistant. So they're already in the healthcare sector. Okay, so they can even apply for. We don't have physician assistants here. I know they do, but I don't know how they actually work here. I'm not sure if they can actually apply, but we have healthcare assistant. They can still apply for that, and then they can also go on Indeed and then apply for other things that they might find interesting to them. Okay, I'm not too sure about physician assistants in Ireland. I haven't seen that, but at least I know of the healthcare assistant, which might also be very good. I know that the name sounds very, it's like a white collar job, if I want to say that back in Africa, but seriously, comparing the amount of money a healthcare assistant is going to receive here, if you look at that, it might even be way more than what he or she is even receiving in Ghana, seriously. So it's not just about the position, or it's not just about the kind of job that the person is doing, okay? They can still get this job and still make some ends meet, and you guys are going to be very comfortable. If he doesn't mind, it's going to be very comfortable. Okay, and then the easier thing is that if he wants to upgrade himself, he can even get a healthcare assistant job, upgrade. I'm actually using healthcare assistant because he's already in the health sector. I don't believe in everybody being a healthcare assistant just because it's the easiest way. No, but the fact that he's already in the healthcare system, it makes it very easy for him to just adapt. Okay, so he can start that, start working and then look for other jobs. okay, which might, or maybe just upgrade himself by going to school, and then when he's done with that, then he can just find himself a very something that he'll be interested in. Priscilla says, I must say you are doing a great job. Your content are always top notch and very beneficial. Thank you so much. Keep the good work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please remember to also like my video and also share. Very important. Thank you guys so much. Anthony says, can I register my kids in school prior to their PPS number? Oh, yes, you can do that. That's what I actually said. So, but they have to be in Ireland. They have to be in Ireland. So if you're in Ireland and then you don't have a school, yes, you can still go and register for their PPS. They are still going to ask you, they are going to ask you about some few things. So when you go to the office and you tell them that, oh, I need a PPS for school, that is a different thing. But let them know that you need a PPS for child benefits. It makes it easier that way. Okay, it makes it very easier that way. So just tell them that you need a PPS for child benefits. In that case, you get the PPS, you also get the forms for PPS, and then it makes it so easy for you. Okay, that's what I'm actually going to advise from experience. Yeah. Hi, hello, Ness Rahel. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it, girl. And you are doing so well. You are doing so good. I can see you in all your videos. Thank you. And the AC says, what can a spouse who is a lecturer do in... Okay, I believe you're going to type, what can a person actually do in Ireland? If your spouse is a lecturer and still wants to be a lecturer, yes, they can actually, teach in the universities. They just have to upgrade themselves, okay? The most important for them to just apply for the some courses in the university, ask around, finish with those courses, and then apply. I know a Nigerian who is also is now a teacher in the university. I'll try and host her very soon, just to make it very easy. Okay, I think. Hello there. I'll try and post the link again so that you can join me again. Okay, I'd like to see your face, Tunji. Let me try and paste the link again so that you can join me. If you have any question, you can just join me, okay? And then Abuna says, please, Nesmomo, I'm a nurse. Can my husband, who is a cyber security, get a job? Ooh, with that, yeah, I even forgot to mention it. Thank you so much. So anything related to internet, anything related to software, in this modern world, okay? Now the world is actually going for it. So if your husband is very good with technology, it's so easy. So easy. Anything technology, it's so easy for them. So easy. I have to reiterate this. So easy. So anything to deal with cybersecurity or anything at all, hi girl, he can actually do it. He can just have to put out his profile online, apply for companies looking for those in those sectors, and then you are done, girl. You are done. I'm actually amazed when it comes to Indeed, the kind of jobs that you are going to get in your emails. You are going to faint. Okay, so just in case if I have anybody here, just to bring this up, I have anybody here looking for any job in Ireland, just go to Indeed, just create a profile, just search, let them know that the type of job that you actually want. And then they are going to get a lot of emails relating to that job, because they always have jobs being posted each and every day. So please, those on YouTube joining me, Facebook, I appreciate it. Just let them know. Okay. And then you have Abuna says, thanks for the information. Thank you so much, Abuna. And then Tony says, can you apply for healthcare assistance from Africa? Yes. And what qualifications boost your chances of getting the job? Okay, Tunji, you're trying to shift my attention today. Okay, I actually promised myself not to talk about healthcare assistant jobs in Ireland, but I have lots of videos. I have lots of videos. Okay, when it comes to healthcare assistants, I actually hosted a few people. So please check my videos on YouTube or on Facebook. I have some of the things that you require, some of the qualification and all of that. Okay, but I'm just a quickie one. I'll just say that try and open an account on LinkedIn or on Indeed. I'm going to have lots of job posts on healthcare assistants, okay, jobs. Yeah, and then just apply. Just that, let them know that you're outside Ireland. Mostly it's for those in Ireland. But I always have people just sending me emails that I got a job in Ireland as a healthcare assistant. So please, with the healthcare assistant jobs, people are actually getting it a lot. So you don't have to give up. Okay, it might be that you might have to send lots of CVs, but please don't give up. You're still going to get a job. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to have a different session about healthcare assistants. I'll just come and give like a bit of information when it comes to some of the trainings you have to do. And I'll try and see if I'll just mention a few companies or a few hospitals that have actually recruited some healthcare assistants. I'll try and see if I'll do that just to help you all. Yeah. Ness, Rachel says, well done, Ness. Well, thank you so much, Ness. Rachel, thank you. I see you and in your videos and everything. I can see you also doing so well. It's not easy, don't give up. We'll all get there. Francisca, and so thank you so much, Francisca. I'm sending you love as well. Love from Ireland. Thank you, girl. I appreciate it. So, guys, this is the end of today's session. If you have any comments, I have like 5 seconds. You can post it. I'll definitely try and answer you. If not, I'll leave you all and then request each and every one of you to just drop a laugh, try and drop your girl something just to encourage me. It's very, very important. Okay. Hi, good evening, Nesmomo. What about health and safety coordinator job? Is it possible? So when it comes to job, I always say that Europe is the best place that you can find anything at all. Anything. So let me just share. I just got an email from someone I don't even know, okay, telling me that they want someone to just translate, a translator, okay, someone who can speak Tree, who is very good in Tree. So they want someone who can just, so you have all types of job. You're going to find it in Europe. Please don't think that Europe is actually the best place. If you have that qualification in Africa or from wherever you are, is it Europe that you won't find a job? All sectors, please, you will definitely get a job, okay? So I just said that just to let you guys know that even language translator. Yes, I even got an email, and that they're actually asking me if I can translate. I'm like, oh, I have to sharpen my cheese skills. So you see, so you are actually going to get a lot of jobs. You have lots of options. Even if you even studied odontology in school, you will still get a job in Europe. That is how Europe is. It's so broad, and they have jobs for everyone. We have people playing drums and teaching music and everything. That's all you're going to get it. So you just have to show out your nets, let them know your qualification, and why not? You're going to get the job. Okay. So thank you so much, Cleo and Danny. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining me, and I hope to see you all next week on a different topic, different session. Remember to like, remember to share this video. Very, very important. I also like it when you drop a comment. So drop a comment to also encourage your girl. And I hope to see you all soon on my next video. Bye.